friends, Krista here. Thanks for stopping by Books and Jams. Today we are going to do a 5-star predictions video. I'm so excited. The last time I did one of these was in December when I joined Sarah and Lindsay with their Book List Thursday, and we did 5-star predictions from our Kindle. And previously to that, I had done it one other time, but it took me over a year to finally do a wrap-up of the books that I had chosen. So hopefully this doesn't take me a year. Sarah and Lindsay did it where we had 3 months. I don't know if I want to give myself a 3-month deadline for this. However, I definitely promise that I will do a wrap-up of these 5 books before the end of 2020, because this time I chose books off of my TBR cart, which if you have been around here for a little while know that I asked at the beginning of this year and last year for book recommendations from you guys. And that was really one of my big goals for the past 2 years, is to read books from my TBR shelves that you guys recommended to me. So I have chosen 5 of those books that I think are going to be 5 stars. There's probably 5 more, 10 more, 15 more, because there's a lot of books this year that you guys chose that are fantastic. But I just went through and chose 5 of them that I am pretty confident I'm going to give 5 stars to. Let's just get right into it. The first one many of you will be happy about because I just mentioned it in a recent video and you were like, read that book! And it's As Bright as Heaven by Susan Meisner. On Goodreads, this has, I should say, I put these in order from lowest to highest ranking on Goodreads, but they're all above 4, so they all are pretty high on Goodreads. This one has a 4.07 ranking on Goodreads, average ranking, so that's really pretty good. This one deals with the Spanish flu. It's a historical fiction. I'm pretty sure there's going to be dual timelines because Susan Meisner does that a lot, or dual perspectives, I should say, but it might not. We follow a mother and her daughters in the very early 1900s, 1918 or so, in California, I want to say, and the Spanish flu reaches the shores of North America and is pretty deadly. So I've heard such good things about this, and I have read myself a couple other Susan Meisner books and really enjoy her style of writing. I am really thinking that this is going to be 5 stars. I love historical fiction and I love Susan Meisner, and I've heard such great praise for this one from many of you. So crossing my fingers that this is the first one that will be 5 stars. Next I have The Invention of Wings by Sue Monk Kidd. This on Goodreads has an average rating of 4.24, and I read The Secret Life of Bees from Sue Monk Kidd before BookTube days and absolutely loved it, and I loved the movie as well, but I haven't read anything else by her, so I'm very excited to jump into another one. This is another historical fiction, and we follow Sarah Grimke and her handmaid handful, Hetty Grimke, who's an urban slave in the early 19th century in Charleston, South Carolina. This also deals with the beginnings of the women's rights movement, so like the suffragette movement as well as abolitionist movement, and the relationship between these 2 young women as they kind of navigate those different aspects of history, so, and play a role in it. And I believe that this is actually based on true events or a true person. Sarah Grimke, I think, is a real life person. They might both be based on real life women. I'm not really sure about that. I have heard that some people like one of the storylines a little bit better than the other one, but it just feels like a book that I'm really going to enjoy, and because I already know that I like her writing style, at least I did back in the day, I'm hoping that this again will be a 5-star read for me. The next one I have is The Alice Network by Kate Quinn. I have read The Huntress by Kate Quinn and really liked some aspects of it and didn't like some aspects of it, but I loved the writing style. And I was supposed to read The Alice Network last summer. It, I think, was my July pick for my Goodreads read-along group, and I just didn't get to it. I don't remember what was going on and why that didn't happen for me last year, but I didn't get to it. On Goodreads, it has an average rating of 4.27, which is pretty high. We're getting up there now. This does have 2 timelines. It's not just World War II. It's actually a 1915 timeline, so World War I timeline, and 1947, which is just after World War II. In the 1915 timeline, we follow this woman who has the code name of Alice, who ends up organizing and running this spy network. And then there's a connection between Alice and a character in the 1947 timeline. So I'm really excited about this. I've heard such good things about it, especially from people in that read-along group who did read it last July when I didn't. And they, for the most part, really, really enjoyed this book. So I am crossing my fingers it'll be 5 stars, and I'm really excited to finally get to it. The fourth one that I have is, I think, a reread. But it's been so long since I've read it that I honestly don't remember anything about it except that it happens in Afghanistan, and that's The Kite Runner by Khaled Hosseini. And this on Goodreads has an average rating of 4.29. There's no summary on the back, so I can't tell you exactly, but from what I remember, I believe it's about 2 young boys, or we follow one young boy in particular, and maybe as he gets older, growing up in Afghanistan. I know that there's some deeply traumatic things that happen, and I think it's just going to be a very heavy read, but I remember really liking it, and it just has such high ratings. And when I did my list on Goodreads for which of my 90 recommended books should I make priority, this is very, very high up at the top. So many people want me to read this one this year. So I'm really looking forward to reading this, and I'm really thinking that it's going to be a 5-star read for me. So it's a reread, but really it's like I'm reading it for the first time because I don't remember. And then finally is my newest release of this stack. I would love to read Jojo Moyes' The Giver of Stars. This has a Goodreads average rating of 4.31, which is the highest of this bunch, and one of the highest in all of my recommended books. But it is relatively newer, so it might not have quite as many reviews yet on Goodreads. I'm very excited about this one because I loved the book, The Bookwoman of Troublesome Creek by Kim Michelle Richardson, which also deals with pack horse librarians in the mountains, in the Appalachian Mountains, which is what this is about. I know it's going to take a little different spin on it. We're not going to talk about the blue people of Kentucky, but I love that era, Roosevelt's work progress administration, like that whole thing during the Roosevelt time period as presidents. Just the idea of bringing books up the mountain and kind of the poverty and that whole culture of the Appalachian Mountains during that time. I'm just really excited. The last sentence of the summary here says, "Funny, heartbreaking, enthralling. It is destined to become a modern classic, a richly rewarding novel of women's friendship, of true love, and of what happens when we reach beyond our grasp for the great beyond." I'm very excited. And I have heard such good things about this. And it is a Book of the Month Club pick, which I'm trying to do better this time around with this membership. I did put my membership on hold for about a year because I wasn't reading any of the books. So I'm doing much better this time around. And so I'm excited to read one of those. I definitely think that this has potential to be a 5-star read for me. So here are 5 of the books that I think will be 5-star reads off of my TBR recommendations cart. And I would love to hear from you. Do you agree? Have you read any of these? Do you think that they're going to be 5-star reads? I'm so excited to get to these. I'm really, really excited when I look at these books, when I look at this little stack. I have so many on this cart that I'm excited about, but this little stack in particular definitely excites me a lot. So I will hopefully in the next couple of months get to all of these and then come back to you with a wrap-up of these books so that you can see if I gave them 5 stars or not. Let's chat down in the comments below about these books or about anything else. What was your most recent 5-star read? I would love to hear that. Give this video a big thumbs up if you liked it. Subscribe if you haven't already. Hit that little bell so you know when I post new videos. And I will be talking to you in another video very soon. Bye.